Hi everybody, Matt Birney or Mike Beer taking a look at the Wednesday DRF Formulator race of the day. It's race number 8 from Belmont Park. It is the Joseph A. Gimma Stakes. It's for 2-year-old New York bred fillies. They're going 7/8 of a mile on the main track. Let's take a look at the field in post position order. You can head on over to the race of the day page and you get your free Formulator past performances. Handicap with us right along with the number 1, Burning Rose. Starts things off. She's the morning line favorite at 2-1. I don't know about you, Mike. I thought she was really impressive in that debut.
Yeah, she ran really well. She ran a 75 Beyer speed figure, which towers over this field right now. And that's her only start to date. And she did it at 7 furlongs, so you don't really have to worry about that. They made her 2-1 on the morning line. I can't argue with that. I think she is the horse to beat based on that debut. I will say, aside from her performance, and I thought she ran well, I do not like that field that she was running the first time out. I mean, as far as I could tell, nobody else in that field can run at all. So I'm not sure how I really feel about that race. I mean, I guess she's the horse to beat. Would I bet her at 2-1? Nah, probably not. I'll take a shot against her.
It was a complete merry-go-round. There was no passing that went on.
Nobody running from the back.
And you've had a couple of horses come back. The third place finisher came back to earn a 39 Beyer, and the fifth place finisher came back with a 38 Beyer. So it's not as though there's been anything productive coming out of there. We do have a formulator fact, though, for the trainer Dominic Schettino. And unfortunately, it's a negative one. If you want to spin it a couple of ways, past year 2-year-olds, just 1 for 24. The good news is the 1 is Burning Rose, so maybe she's the one that can kind of buck the trend. Number 2 is held accountable for Phil Serpy. This is a horse, she's a half to In Harm's Way, who was 3rd in the Saratoga Special. And I think the biggest concern, or the question mark anyway, is can this horse act on dirt? Yeah,
I guess we'll find out. I mean, as far as the pedigree goes, at least on the dam side, there's plenty of dirt to suggest that she'll handle it. She's an exchange rate. I don't know. So I'm not surprised she ran that well on turf for her debut. But I really did think she ran well first time out. I mean, that was a pretty impressive win. I was a little disappointed. The horse that ran second to her, Pound Note, who I also felt like ran really well in that race to be second. She returned yesterday at Belmont Park in another turf sprint, and she was pretty bad in there. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in this horse. But man, she was much the best in the race. If she can dirt, she could be a factor in here.
The number 3 is Pause for the Cause for Kieran McLaughlin. You get Arad Ortiz Jr. again. This is the 3rd time that this horse has started. The problem for her, she ran in the Seeking the Ante up at Saratoga most recently, and she was out there on hot fractions.
Yeah.
And she paid the price late. Now the problem is, and we're going to take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, we're probably going to have a pretty toasty situation up front again here today.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of trip she can work. And I actually felt like she ran pretty well in the Seek and the Ante, because I think that pace was pretty fast. I mean, you could tell by the time they got to about the 8th pole, she was pretty tired in there. You could tell she was probably not going to last in that race. But I thought all in all it was a good performance. But you're right, in this race, I mean, there's the pace projector. Not only do you have a horse to her outside who had a lot of speed in her debut win, but you got the favorite down on the rail. I mean, what choice does Burning Rose have but to gun from the lead? And she's fast.
And the problem, too, is we're still at the point where so many of these 2-year-olds, you don't know if they can pass horses yet. So if you're not fast enough to make the front in a situation like this, you could be way up against it. The number 4 is Aunt Babe for Carlos Martin. This filly just debuted only 12 days ago. By the time this race will be run on Wednesday, I thought she looked really, really good. Now, there were slow fractions, and when you look at the field that she beat, I don't know if there was anything in there. But this is a confident move. They're going to wheel her back in 12 days.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably wasn't that much behind her in that race, but I don't know how much that takes away. It's a lot like the situation with Burning Rose first time out. I don't know what it takes away from Aunt Babe. I thought she ran really well. I loved the way she finished in that race. Didn't get much of a figure, but she could improve off of that. She's back very quickly for a guy who's actually having a pretty good year, Carlos Martin.
And it was nice to see that she actually sat a little bit. He wasn't a headstrong one trying to get to the front either. So maybe that plays into her advantage here in this spot. The 5 is Girls Dance Party. Jeremiah Englehart sends this one down. Broker Maiden against Open Company up at Finger Lakes most recently. You would assume this is going to be a more difficult position for her, but she's another one. She just cruised on the front end and she drew off and won like a good thing.
Yeah, she ran really well in that race. Englehart is another guy. He's having a great year with his 2-year-olds. I mean, she smashed that field. She got to the front. The runner up in there tried to challenge her. She just left that horse behind through the stretch. What was that? Over 7 lengths clear of her. It was an acre of ground back to the rest of that field. I mean, she really ran first time out. Now she picks up Ortiz.
And she got a little bit of pedigree on the bottom. A half to Wild Chick, who was 3rd in the Schuylerville as a 2-year-old. Half to a horse called Midnight Visit, who was a minor stakes winner in her own right. So there's some stuff in there that maybe you want to hang your hat on. The 6 Miss Mystique and the 7 Newport Breeze. I kind of want to talk about them in tandem because I look at them very similarly, where we know that Miss Mystique, her game is going to be to try to come off from off the base. She stumbled terribly in that Seeking the Ante, and the fact that she came on again, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. What do you do with Newport Breeze? Because I don't know what the heck happened.
I don't either. To me, it just makes her really, it makes her hard to trust. So I'll say that. So we'll see what kind of price you get on her. I don't know what happened in that race. I was expecting to pull that replay and watch it from a couple different angles and see, like, I don't know, maybe she, somebody got in front of her and she didn't like that. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. She just, for whatever reason, she stopped running through the turn.
Shut it down, yeah.
It looked like maybe something was wrong. She was being pulled up, and the next thing you know, I see a horse railing up the rail, and it's her, and she almost wins. I mean, she actually ran a very good race in there. And I will say this, I loved her maiden when it done. I don't know if you agree with her or not, but I thought she ran great that 100%. Day. I don't know, she's pretty hard to trust. Just because I don't know what happened last time, but I still think she ran well. I guess I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but I wouldn't go with too short a price on her. I'll say that.
Do you look at the entire situation, the Seeking the Ante, and say that it was one of the better things that she actually shut off because that pace was as hot as it was?
Maybe.
That played into Miss Mystique's advantage as well. In a spot like this, I mean, you go back to that Del Mar race, she was up there on the engine as well. So, I mean, I'm kind of curious. I don't know what kind of trip we're going to get out of her either.
I don't either. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't take a short price on her. I don't know what kind of trip she's going to get in here, and I don't know what she's going to do in this race, but I do think that she ran well in the Seeking the Ante last time, all things considered. And I think Miss Mystique ran well too. I liked her debut a lot. It wasn't a fast race, but I just liked the way that she won for a first-time starter without a perfect trip and a good finish in there. And she stumbled pretty bad. I mean, after the start, I thought everything went pretty well for her in that race, but she did stumble badly at the start.
The good news is for her, she's a little bit light on figs, but she figures to get a very favorable pace set up in front of her. And the 8 is Beau Arts. I suppose for me, Beau Arts seems like a bit of a hard horse to make in a race like this. She's slow on paper right now. It's fun fact, she's the younger sister to everyone's favorite underneath key in the world, Dark Rose.
That's the truth. She did post her only when sprinting on the turf or dirt form. Not quite as good as that. I mean, she looks like the only one in here that I just couldn't make any kind of a case for, but the rest of them, I mean, this is a wide open race, I think.
Let's take a look at our picks here for the formulated race of the day for Wednesday. We're both going to go with Newport Breeze, but we kind of made it clear. I don't know what to expect from her. It was just such a fascinating race to see her run that at least makes me think that there's something there.
I agree with that. And I do, again, it's not like it's the only race that she's running. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt because I really did like her win at Del Mar. I think she did a lot of good things in that race. Just like tons of pressure she took, and she just kept fighting horses off. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But again, I think they made her 5-1 on the line. If I can get her at 5, I'll probably bet her. But if she comes down from there, I'd be a little more leery.
Formulated race of the day Wednesday. It's race number 8 at Belmont Park. The 2-year-old fillies going 7/8 of a mile in the Joseph A. Gimma. If you're playing from home, check out DRF Bets. We have a new sign-up bonus, $300 for the fall. The promo code is fall300. DRF.com/fall is the address. Race number 8, Wednesday afternoon at Belmont Park. Scheduled post time is 5:13 Eastern. Good luck.